What is up, guys? It's Blue Spooky here, and I figured it was about time we got around to doing the Q&A. Thank you guys so much for 50,000 subs, even though we're at 64,000 now. It's a little bit late. There was a point in time where I was like, I don't know if I want to do a Q&A because I don't know if I'll get enough questions. But then I ended up getting like 1,000 of them. So it's taken a little bit to sort through them all and gather some questions to answer here for you guys. I've grabbed some of the most asked ones, and some of the singularly asked ones that I thought were particularly interesting. So without further ado, let's get right into the Q&A and start answering some of these. The first question is one that I kind of expected, and I knew a lot of people were going to ask it, and it turns out a lot of people did. And that question is, how old are you? Now, I'm not going to say my specific age, because I want to try to retain a little bit of anonymity here with the channel, but for my general age bracket, I'm in my early 20s, and I'm still going to college. So that should give you guys a good idea of around how old I am. Since that one was pretty quick, we'll move right on to the second one. What is your favorite food? Now, I love to eat all kinds of food, but generally speaking, I really enjoy things that have cheese or pasta. I'm actually part Italian, so I like to eat Italian food a lot. Not surprising, I suppose, but you know, what can you do? Moving on to another one of the short and sweet questions about personal preferences. What is your favorite color? Throwing a wild guess, blue. Yeah, my favorite color is actually blue. More specifically, it's a shade of blue known as cyan. So basically it's kind of like baby bluish color with a little bit of green mixed in. Kind of like a little bit of a lighter turquoise. And that's part of why I decided to name my channel Blue Spooky. Blue wasn't always my favorite color, it actually used to be orange, but as I grow older and older, for some reason I find myself liking the color blue. Alright, now here we're going to get into a little bit of a longer question, and this is also one that I was asked quite often. Why did you pick scary stories for your YouTube channel theme? Essentially, when I first started this YouTube channel, I didn't really have a clear idea in mind for what I wanted to do, but I have been really big into watching those true scary channels, and that was around the time when they were like first starting to get popular, and I actually used to read fanfics and stuff in the past. So one day, I was at Best Buy and I was like, you know, why not buy a microphone and try to read true scary stories? Because scary stories is something I've been interested in since I was a really little kid. Around 9 or so is when the fascination with scary stories really started to take root. So I figured, you know, if these guys are doing it, you know, why can't I try and do that too? So I hopped onto Reddit and I grabbed a couple stories and I started reading. Moving on to the next question. What is your biggest fear? Now, I don't really have too many phobias. I'm not really like scared of spiders or anything like that, but my biggest fear is of heights. I don't know why, but heights really freak me out. Especially when you have to climb a ladder to a high place. Especially when you're on a ladder, that really gives my stomach like the queasies and I start to, you know, really freak out. And this might sound pretty strange, but I also have a fear of restaurant booths. It's not really a booth itself, but there's like the crack between the booth and the wall. There's just something about it that unnerves me, and I just can't stand to sit down in restaurant booths because it just gives my back a weird feeling. And it makes me start to like freak out a little bit, so I always request like a table whenever I go to a restaurant. It's probably pretty weird. The next question, which was also asked quite a bit, is going to be, do you have any plans to make a second channel, or any plans to do any other kinds of content besides scary stories on this one. Now, to be honest, I have given some thought to opening a second channel. I never really want to do anything but scary stories on this one, but I've thought about opening a secondary channel where perhaps I'd read some fan fiction or some bad creepypastas every now and again and do like little comedy episodes. Perhaps upload some true life personal stories that are of a more comedic variety and do a few skits. So that's something that I've been planning on. I've actually been thinking about starting up that second YouTube channel once I save up enough to upgrade my microphone. Because if I do end up doing that, I want it to sound really good. So that is something that I have planned for and something that is possibly in the works. I'm interested to hear what you guys would think about me possibly doing a secondary channel like that. Because to be honest, it is something I'm a little bit nervous about. But it's something that I really want to do, so I don't know, I might give it a try sometime. You never know. Alright, so the next question is, what is your favorite type of scary story video to make, and what is your favorite scary story video on your channel? Now, the type of scary story video I find the most interesting and that I like the most are actually the true scary pizza delivery story videos. I don't know why, but I always find those ones like really super interesting. But I can never really find any of them that the other horror narrators haven't already read. So I never really get the chance to make those kinds of videos anymore. I did one once and people seemed to like it, but every other pizza story I've found has already been done by like Mr. Nightmare, B-Busta, Lazy Masquerade. So I don't want to just recycle that sort of content. As for my favorite true scary video on the channel, I think I would have to say that my favorite video that I've ever made is probably... I'm gonna have to say it's probably my first Clown Stories volume. I think that fear of clowns is really interesting, and I thought a lot of the stories in there were pretty interesting too, and it was back when I was first starting off, so that was during a time when I didn't really know how to audio edit that well. So it's like a neat little transition phase you can look at where it's like, you know, there's a very notable difference in sound quality between that and the videos going forward. And I think it's kind of neat how it shows the growth of my channel over time. So that's why I like that video the best personally. The next question I'm going to answer is just, it's one that I found pretty funny because it seemed kind of random to me. And I don't really know why so many people ask this question, but the question was, do I like the channel Idubbbz, and do I like the channel Leafyishere? Now I'm going to go right out and say that yes, I watch both of those YouTubers, and I very much enjoy the content that they make. I actually especially like Idubbbz in particular. There's just something about his dry sense of humor and delivery that just really makes me like have a little chuckle every now and then. I of course like Leafy too, but I don't watch them as often because I think sometimes his jokes can be a little bit more stale and they seem to be more hit and miss than Idubbbz jokes usually are. But I think Leafy does some okay stuff, and I don't mind watching him in my free time when I'm like looking for stories or something. And just pop my headphones in and listen into a Leafy video every now and then. This next one is just a fun little question, and that's, who was your first subscriber? It might surprise a lot of people, but when you guys comment on the videos, I do tend to memorize like your guys' profile pictures and your names, so that the next time you guys comment on a video, I can interact with you and I remember what you said last time. So if you comment a lot, then I remember who you are pretty much. My very first subscriber, who at the time I was really surprised that I got a subscriber that wasn't like just one of my friends or my family, was a guy named Show Nuff, I believe. And last I checked, he was pretty active on these channels like mine where we read true scary stories. And he was one of the first guys to tell me that he enjoyed my videos. And it just really stands out in my mind because I remember when he left that comment, it made like my entire day just to know that somebody liked my video that much. And you know, now that I get comments like that more often, it's kind of like sobering to think about how many people enjoy my content and they tell me that they enjoy my content. And you know, that stuff can really have an impact on a creator. Like, it can really make someone's day if you enjoy a video and you tell the person that you like their video. So yeah, that's just a quick little look into my YouTube history. This next question, I think, is another good little look into my YouTube history. And that's, was this your first channel idea, or did you have other channels before in the past? Now this might surprise people, but I've actually been making YouTube videos for a very, very long time. This is the first channel that I've really had any success with. The very first YouTube channel I did was when I was a little kid, and I made a bunch of funny skits and stuff with my friends. After that, I took a break from YouTube for about 6 months, and then I started doing YouTube again. This time it was a Let's Play channel that I did with my best friend at the time, and that didn't really go anywhere. So I stopped for a while, then I started making some Call of Duty gameplay videos on that channel, and that didn't really go anywhere either. It was a bit better than before, but, you know, that's not really the type of thing that I wanted to do, like, forever. So I just kind of got bored with it and I stopped making the Call of Duty videos. Then, later in my life, in high school, I actually moved on to doing fanfic readings because I was really into fandoms and stuff at the time because I was a teenager. So I did a lot of those, and those never really went anywhere either. After that, I just sort of stopped doing YouTube until finally I decided to start up this channel. And to be honest, like, this goes in with another question people ask of, oh, did you ever expect the channel to reach over 50,000 subscribers? Or did you ever expect when you first started doing this YouTube channel that you would get this big? And to be honest, no, I didn't. When I first started this channel, I thought I was just going to be making scary story videos for fun, for me and my friends. I actually remember the first video I posted, I got 100 views, and I was like, whoa guys, this is crazy, this is impossible, 100 views, this is unheard of. And it just kept growing from there, and I'm so grateful to you guys for that, because I really never expected this to take off the way it did. Because to be honest, like, when I first started this channel, like, many things were going against me. Like, it was in a time where the true scary genre was starting to get really, really saturated with narrators. I had a hard time finding stories that people hadn't already read before, and I had a hard time trying to find places to share my videos in a way that wouldn't just make people mad at me for self-advertising. So I mean, I really see it as kind of a miracle that I've managed to get this many subscribers on this YouTube channel. And it's all thanks to you guys. Every time you guys comment or share the video, you know, that really helps. It really helps a lot. The next question is, have you ever not uploaded a video due to copyright problems or some sort of issue with YouTube? And funny story, behind the scenes that actually did happen one time. When I first posted my Walmart stories video, which has about 1.4 million views now. When I first uploaded that video, it was originally titled 3 True Scary Walmart Stalker Stories, and when I submitted that video for monetization, I actually got an email from YouTube saying that I couldn't monetize the video because the title and the thumbnail were advertiser unfriendly. So basically that video was a sitting duck in the water, and I thought about like removing it because at the time it only had like 5,000 views. And I was just like, you know, I really don't want to go through the hassle of maybe getting a copyright strike because I try to repeal this or something. But then eventually somebody ended up convincing me that it was the right idea to do. So I changed the title of the video to 3 True Scary Walmart Stories. And then I made a thumbnail where I completely changed the picture, but I completely obscured the Walmart logo with the title text so that I wouldn't get in trouble for it. And everything ended up working out just fine. But it's a little sobering reminder that even when you have a lot of subscribers, things like that can still happen to you out of nowhere with no warning. So if you're going to try and make a YouTube channel, always be careful with what you title your videos, and also be careful what you put in the thumbnail of the videos. because that can really screw things over for you if you accidentally make a mistake there. The next question is one that I thought was really interesting and very mature, and that's, what scares you the most about YouTube? And on the opposite side, what makes you the most comfortable about YouTube? The thing that scares me the most about YouTube is that it's very hard to get feedback, from both YouTube itself and on video sometimes. You know, it's pretty scary that one day you could be making videos and then suddenly you won't know why and your videos will just drop off and you won't be getting as many views. Or that at any point somebody who's mad at you could come and copyright strike your video and get you pulled off of YouTube forever, basically, without any way for you to appeal that unless you know somebody. But on the flip side, I think the thing that makes me most comfortable about YouTube is that you can make whatever you want to make. Be it bad or good, you can make any kind of videos you want, and you can put them up there for people to see and for people to critique. And that's a really interesting thing in my opinion. It allows people who would sometimes otherwise never get to share their opinions or never get to put their creative bones to use, to have an outlet to make videos. Even if the videos are bad, they can still find a way to express themselves. And that's something that I think is really important about YouTube. And that's why even though some of the aspects of the site scare me, I still think it's a very good site. And I plan to be making YouTube videos for a long time to come, as long as nothing catastrophic happens like me getting my channel terminated randomly or something like that. So let's hold our fingers crossed and hope something like that never happens. I'm not too worried about it though. And I'll just answer these last couple of questions because the video is getting to be kind of long at this point, almost 20 minutes long, so. For the last couple of questions I'm going to answer, those questions are, what is your inspiration for this YouTube channel, and how did you come up with the name Blue Spooky? Now for the name Blue Spooky, I came up with that, it was basically a silly pun. I was thinking of, what is something that would be both memorable, kind of silly, but still have the spooky theme going on? And I thought, oh, Boo Spooky. Ha ha ha, pretty funny, right guys? But, yeah. And then I was like, oh, my favorite color is blue, so I might as well call it Blue Spooky. That seems like a memorable enough name to me. And so I titled it Blue Spooky. It was originally meant to not have the underscore, it was just going to be a space, but it turns out somebody had already taken the name Blue Spooky, and I think they were a person that made like one gaming video like 4 years ago, and then they never made another video again. So I was like, okay, I'll just throw the underscore in there, and we'll go with Blue Spooky. So that's the way my name was created. It's not really like a super mysterious story or anything, it's just something that I thought was pretty funny. As for my inspiration for the channel, it's funny because one of the inspirations for my channel actually asked me in the comments, and that person is Eden, who, by the way, is a great horror narrator, and you should go check her out if you have the time. My inspiration, basically, I grew up in high school watching these horror narration channels, stuff like Mr. Creepypasta, Creeps McPasta, all those guys. Some Ordinary Gamers, and as time went on, I never really thought like that I'd be able to do this myself. It was just nothing that crossed my mind. But as people started doing true scary stories and reading the stories from Reddit, I thought, oh, well, I can do that. I know where to get the stories. And I had been watching people like Mr. Nightmare, B-Busta, Eden, and Killer Orange Cat at the time. And somewhat humorously and unrelatedly, Boogie2988 was actually an inspiration too. I thought, if all of these people who are otherwise ordinary people can do this sort of thing, then, maybe I could give it a shot too. I didn't think it would necessarily be successful, but I thought, if these people can give it a try and they can give it their all, then I can give it my all too, So at this point, I decided, you know what, screw it. I'm gonna do this, even if it fails. it'll still be a learning experience. So I took basically pretty much the only money that I had to my name at the time, went to Best Buy, and bought a microphone. Now during this time I continued to watch their videos in order to kind of see how they did their editing, how they went about doing it and stuff. I actually recorded the audio for my first video in September of 2015. But at the time, I was still really scared about how people would find my voice, and I didn't really think it was that good. So I really just didn't ever decide to make the video. I kind of left it sitting there for a little bit, and then finally my brother was like, "Hey man, you said you were going to make that video, just do it, just see what happens." So finally, November 29th, I finished making the first video in Movie Maker, and it was absolutely awful, and I didn't know how to use audio compressor or noise reduction or anything like that. And you can hear me clicking the mouse, and you can hear my air conditioner in the background. But I finally posted the video, and it ended up going a lot better than expected. So yeah, that's pretty much my story of inspiration and how I started on YouTube. The video is still up, in case anyone wants to go watch it. And I think with that last set of questions, that's going to end the Q&A for now. For everyone whose question I didn't get to answer, I apologize. There were just so many different questions. So what I think I'm gonna do, maybe make this Q&A series a once a month thing or something like that. That way, the questions that didn't get answered this episode, if you guys still want to know about them, you can ask for the next Q&A and I can go ahead and answer them. So please let me know what you guys think about that. And please let me know if you enjoyed this Q&A video and learning a little bit more about me. I'm sorry if I came off as a bit awkward, but I'm not really used to these sorts of answering question videos. But maybe in time I'll get a bit more used to it. I hope you guys enjoy the video. Please leave feedback in the comments below, and perhaps any questions you might have if I were to do another Q&A video in the future. Thank you guys so much for being patient with me on this coming out, and thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys have a wonderful day.